All right, so you are welcome. Now, this class, like I said, is just to discuss some strategies that you can put in place to pass your CR exams, especially the upcoming March 2025 DIET and beyond, because the syllabus is up to 2029. So it's the same thing that you need to adopt for all the sitting. Now, what I'm going to do is to introduce you to the syllabus content of the corporate reporting and the exam structure. Then we just move into what you should think of doing to enable you pass the paper. It's supposed to be one touch. You don't need to write and write and write again. If you can follow this strategy that we are about to discuss. So first of all, what I need to show you is the corporate reporting exam structure. The exam structure. Now, according to the syllabus, we are looking at the ICAG syllabus for 2020, November 2024. It started in November 2024. And hopefully by July 2029, it will end so that the new one will start from the November of 2029. Now, you could see clearly their document here. So this is the document of corporate reporting. And you could see the divisions that they've clearly made for you. Now, understand that it's a professional level and you have to position yourself as a professional. Okay, you have to. These things are not for granted because it factors into the way you answer your exam question. If you answer the exam question as if you are at the application level, you will be in trouble. But you are supposed to answer the question as if you are at the professional level. Now, at the professional level, what do you see? You are in the position of advising somebody, like you are a consultant. That is how you are supposed to approach the exam. But unfortunately, most of the students still approach the level 3 with the mindset of level 2. You think you are going to calculate this, calculate that, calculate that. Of course, some of them demand that you calculate. But you see, in level 2, the whole focus of financial reporting is your ability to calculate. That is it. And prepare the financial statement and all those things. But here, you'll be preparing financial statement. If you check the financial reporting content, you'll be preparing a financial statement for a consolidated entity. You'll also be preparing a financial statement for a single entity. So you see, it's all about financial statement, financial statement, financial statement. But here, you are assuming more of an evaluation and advisory position. That is what you'll be doing. And so you need to have that mindset. And please, so when we start the class, that paradigm should be how you are supposed to be thinking. All right, you need that. It's very, very important. Now, they've said that you will still be dealing with the standards for a whole 30 marks. It's a 100-mark question. They say you will still be dealing with the standard for 30 marks. But you see, actually, the standard, if you examine this thing carefully, you will realize that the standard is not actually 30 marks. The standard is more than 30 marks. You realize that the standard takes 70% of your exam. 70% of the exam. But it's just that there will be questions specifically designated to the standard. So you need to be very, very careful. The standard is very, very important. And I will show you how you will segregate the standard just to help your learning and your easy passing. Now, so you have application of the standard 30 marks. You have financial preparation for a group, that is console, that will be 25 marks. You have evaluation, you have specialized transactions, then you have environmental sustainability and ethical issues together with governance. Of course, here you have to be careful of IT issues, because right now where we are in the system is all about sustainability and application of technology, the automations. All right, so all those AIs and all those things. So that is the structure of the exam for 10 marks. So if you see clearly, what you are seeing is that you are having standards, you are having group accounting, you are having evaluation of financial statement, you're having specialized transaction, you're having ethics. That is how it is, and sustainability. Now, so therefore, your exam structure is that you are supposed to answer 5 questions. 5 questions. And this one is not like you have to choose. You don't have to choose. Your instruction is to attempt the 5 questions. So you don't need to leave any of them untouched. You just have to write something. That is very, very important. It's very, very important. Now, we are going to break down the sections. So in the exams, you realize that your question 1 is all about the consolidation. Your question 1 is just simply about consolidation. But if you saw the breakdown, you realize that consolidation was 25 marks. But in the exam, your question 1 is always on consolidation. Question 1 is always on consolidation. And so the consolidation has about 6 parts. 6 parts. And that is what we will be doing in class. 6 parts. I'm going to do consolidation very early in the class structure. You will be the console has 6 parts. We have the basic consolidation. The basic consolidation. And the exam that was done just had a mixture of basic consolidation and complex groups. That's all that they did. The November 2024 die. That's what they did. Now, so in the basic consolidation, you will need the applicability of standard IFRS 3. You will need IFRS 10. You will need to understand these standards, because without these standards, consolidation will be very, very difficult. Consolidation will be very, very difficult. All right. So you will need to understand these standards, and we will do them. We will do them. So in the basic consolidation, this is it. So we will try to understand what consol is all about and do the examiner's tricks, the adjustments. We will do that. It is always the same. They just change the words. And so in the basic consolidation, you see here, we will be doing how to prepare a P&L and a balance sheet or an SOFP. So that is the basic side, and purely this thing is level 2. All right. But in the basic consolidation also comes with associates. How to deal with associates and how to deal with joint ventures. Now, these two, we use IAS 28 to do that. We call it equity accounting. Now, this one says we should use acquisition accounting. And this one, we call it equity accounting. Equity accounting. So you need to understand the differences in the two. So we will look at them, all right? Then after the basic stuff, of course, you then have the issues of that are designated to level 3, which is complex groups. Complex groups, which is we are talking about changes in group structure. And we will be dealing at foreign consolidation. Then lastly, there is cash flow consolidated cash flow. Okay, so these are the main areas of the consolidation. But here too, the danger is that there is the application of standards. There is the application of standards. That's the danger. So, like I said, the standard is actually 70% of the exam. 70%. So we will look at, so here there is the applicability of the standard. Already you have seen 3, but these are theories, all right? It's all mainly about theories. But every note in the consolidation is supposed to be on a standard. Now, you will have maximum, the maximum the notes should go are 7. So imagine if each note is a standard, then 7 means that you'll be dealing with about 7 standards. So you see that those are the issues there. So the maximum notes for you to deal with is always like 7. And if each of them is like that, then these are the standards. There's some of the standards in there are the basic standards of IAS 2, IAS 16, IFRS 13. All right. So those ones, then you have IAS 12, deferred aspect of it, and all those. We will look at all those things. But just so you know, this is the structure of your exam question 1. And all these things amount to 20 marks. So that is that, 20 marks complete. 20 marks. Then you come to your question 2. The question 2 in your exams will always be about the standards. It's about the standards. Question 2. Is purely about the standards. Purely about the standard. And so you are going to have the standards for another 20 marks here. But the standards, these days, the standards examination in question 2 and the first part of question 3 is being obvious. It just have been obvious. And so I'm going to take you through those ones. So here we are not going to focus much on the PPE standards here. No. We are not going to do that. If there is any, so we classify the standards examinable here under IAS and the IFRS. Now, here, our focus will be gearing towards the liability standards. Yes, in the IFRS, especially in your question 3. So I'll come to that. So when we are looking at the standards, we will be looking at something like IAS 36 and 38 just for these sites mainly. Then we will be looking at, because the rest will be shifted to specialized transactions, we'll be focusing more on that. All right. But in the end, you realize that you are doing standard. Everything is standard. Now, so IAS 36, IAS 38, then you have issues of, I have realized that for 3 consecutive sittings, they've done IFRS 2. Yes, they've done that. We'll be looking at IFRS 5, 8, and so these are the IFRSs. Let me shift them to the IFRSs. Then, so the IAS standard, we will now be focusing on 24 for disclosure, then IAS 19 here again. Then we will be doing the IFRS 2, then IFRS 8, 9, 15, 16. All right, so this will be the standards. And it is the same standards you will have in the question 3A. Question 3. So your question 3, A part is still a standard. So we will still be in the standards. The A part of question 3 is always a standard. And that is where the attention here is now in the new syllabus. It's now trying to examine liabilities. So it is possible that you will have IFRS 16 as part of, it is just a major standard, a combination of standards. So IFRS 16 You may have IAS 8, IAS 10, then IAS 37 for these liability standard. So IFRS 2 will be cash settled share-based payment. We will be looking at them precisely in some orders. Okay, so basically, this is how your question 3 is. Plus the B part of your question 3 will be about ethics / sustainability. And anytime we are talking about this, we shouldn't forget the technologies, emerging technology. Because if you forget, it can be a problem. So we will also be dealing with emerging technologies. Now, early this year, ICA is going around to investigate the audit firms early next year. They are starting even in this December. So you will see that it will be a major issue when it comes to your March 2025 paper and onwards. So you will see. All right. Then we will, of course, deal with sustainability, then emerging technologies. All right. Very, very important. So this will form the remaining 10 marks. Then there's a 10 marks from any of these three. All right. Making the 20 marks. So that is the thing about your question 3. Now, question 4 is where I will start the class, this diet. Question 4. Yes, I will start the class from question 4. And deal with it, because question 4 is all about specialized transactions. Specialized transactions. Now, in the specialized transactions, it is categorized into reconstruction, business reconstruction. Then business valuation. All right. Now, regardless of whether it is reconstruction or business valuation, it is mostly embedded in the standards. Yes, of course, there is an approach and I always teach the 4-step approach to doing reconstruction, which is a very easy approach to use. So we will go through that when we start the main class. But the business valuation, this is where I'm going to start the exam. The business valuation is about valuing a business. And basically, we have the 3 methodologies. So we have the assets, using the asset methods, or the net asset methods. Then we have the income methods, income or earning methods. So then lastly, in corporate reporting, we have the DCF, the discounting factor. Now, so from this one is teaching you how your IAS 1 should be, and therefore it is about how you know your structure of P&L, because it is income-based method. But our classes from next week, when we start the main class, we'll start from here. And so we are going to start from the basics of accounting, where we define do you remember the accounting equation? The accounting equation.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, what is the accounting equation?
Asset equals capital plus liability.
Yes, so the first order accounting equation is asset is equal to capital, but at this level, let's use the word equity plus liability. We normally use the capital at the basic level because we are teaching them how to prepare an account for a sole proprietor before we get to a company. Now, this is the issue. Now, I always say this word, net asset, all right, is the same as equity. So if we want the equity, we will need assets. minus liability. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this equation is what corporate reporting is all about, because if you are doing your consolidation, this equation is what we use to do workings too. This is the equation. That is what we use to do workings too. And so, and it is the same equation we are using to do the specialized transactions. It's just that when it comes to the reconstruction, the focus of the reconstruction is on the equity accounting. It's on the equity. So our focus on this one is mainly on things like stated capital. Our focus is on retained earnings. We have the surpluses. All right. So the surplus like capital surplus. We have revaluation surplus. Because if you are reconstructing a company, what are you reconstructing? It is the ownership side of the company. That is basically what you are trying to do, just to gain grounds for the company. So when we are doing the reconstruction, this is our focus. This is our focus. It's just that most tutors, we don't focus on teaching you what the equity side of the equation. We don't. But that is how it is. So we will focus on how to deal with the equity side of the accounting equation. Now, at the same time, like I said, this is the same thing you use to do your consolidation. The same thing. Fair value of net asset of subsidiary, net asset is still equity. And so the standards that you need to know, especially, so the standard that is involved in doing this finding about equity is IFRS 9. Is about equity. IFRS 9 is about equity. The revaluation that we are talking about, so all the surpluses, this kind of surpluses, all right, it comes through standards like IAS 16 and IAS 38. That is where the surpluses come from. That is where it comes from. Then you have a standard like IFRS 2, which is equity settled share-based payment. Equity settled share-based payment. So you can have a consult question where they want you to deal with the equity. There is equity settled share-based payment. They can be all part of the note. So we will look at these standards. But the asset standard, clear and obvious. We have IAS 16. Is that not it? We have IAS 23, borrowing cost as part of an asset. Borrowing cost is a part of the cost of an asset. And when we start, you will see that. Then you also have asset that can be from investment property. You have that. And between these ones, like IAS 16, you will have IAS 36, which is the impairment of that asset. And that impairment you get will affect this method, the income method, because impairment is an expense. So it will affect the profit. So income, we are looking at the profit method. So you'll be needing something like profit after tax. So you see that anytime you are doing these things, it will affect one of those sides. So bear in mind that thing is part of the things you should keep in mind. If you miss this, the problem is this. When we teach you the standards, we focus on it as a standard. But how the standard is affecting other sides, we kind of don't tell you that. So most of the time, when you go and sit in the exams, you think you have learned the standard and everything is just on the focus. Oh, IAS 36. But where does it hit in the exam structure? You have to know that. And those are the things that this diet will be focusing on. Okay, and we also have assets that are intangibles. So IAS 38 and IAS 38 to impairment is there, which still affects it. So even though you may be doing net asset based method, some of the standards that affect the net asset based method also affect the profit method, which is the income method. Also, you can have IFRS 9 as part of the asset. The IFRS 9 that is here, we have the equity side here, but we also have financial assets that is also an investment asset. So it is part of your asset. It is part of your asset. Even in reconstruction, you'll be selling the asset and share the asset. It's the same thing. The reconstruction, the first part of reconstruction is the same thing. Sell this one, sell your asset. If you are not reconstructing, then distribute the money to these people. It's just that when you are distributing, this one takes priority. So it's here one before this two. When we get there, you will see it. Then, not only, there are other standards that affect assets, standard like IFRS 16. It affects assets. The right of use part affect the asset. So these are the things you are supposed to check. Of course, there is an obvious IAS 2 and IAS 41, which is for asset. And there is also an obvious IAS 12, which is deferred taxation. Deferred taxation, the credit. If you have a deferred taxation, deferred tax asset, it's possible that you can have that. So these are the standards that are for assets. These are the standards that are for assets. The danger is rather these ones, where you'll be dealing with liability standard of IAS 37. And this standard is a big problem because amendment has been done on this standard. And last night, I was telling my student that the amendment that has been done on this IAS 37 affects so many standards. It affects first IFRS 16. No wonder that when I saw the exam of November 2024, they mixed IAS 37 with IFRS 16. That was the question 3A part. That was it. That was it. This same standard also affects IAS 10. It affects IAS 8. It affects IFRS 2. It affects IFRS 9. So the next time, today, November, you had it versus this. You've already had it versus this one. So if you check my IAS 37 video on YouTube, for example, you will see that they've done it on this one. Now they've done it on this one too. They will, it's possible for them to come back to this again. So the IAS 37 is a disturbing standard. Then we have IFRS 2, which is also, you remember, we have cash settled share-based payment. So the cash settled share-based payment is also a liability. It's also a liability. Then, obviously, you have IFRS 9, the liability part. The liability part. Of course, IAS 12 is also a standard that is affecting these things. Mujib, kindly check your side. All right. Now, then obviously you have IFRS 16, which is already leases, like a liability. Or anytime there is a lease, it's about a liability, of course. And you also have your IAS 20 deferred grant. So you could see how these things are, how these ones work. So these are the standards. So if you master these standards, you realize that as you are mastering these standards, just to do question 4, you have already done your question 2 and 3. 30 part of question 2 and 3. So that is the structure we will be looking at. Then lastly, you have your question 5. You have your question 5, which of course is about ratios or evaluation of financial statements. Here we have 3 categorization of it, and it is becoming a problem these days. Yes, because we have the basic computation. So you do the basic ratio computation. You need to know the formulas. The formulas are very, very important, and you analyze it. And here, they've started introducing in the standard, but the most important standard you need for ratios is IAS 1. You need that. You need that because you need to know how financial statements are arranged. Of course, then you have the common size ratios. The common size ratios, which is a vertical ratio analysis, very vertical. And you have cash flow ratios. cash flow analysis, which is a hybrid of both the vertical and the horizontal. So this one mostly is a pure horizontal, and you have the vertical, and the cash flow does the hybrid. Then you see what I missed in here is that this whole specialized transaction, when you are doing it, either this or this, is 15 marks. Then the console, the remaining 5 marks on console, the theory, which is on IFRS 3, IFRS 10, then we also have IFRS 11, IAS 28. So we have joint operations other than joint venture, which is IFRS 11. All right, that one too will be discussed there. Then you even have IFRS 12. It's also there as part of the consolidation. All right, so you will have those theoretical things to discuss for the additional 5 marks to make your question 4 a 20-marker question. All right, then lastly, like I've said, when you do this one, ratios, is also 15 marks. The remaining 5 marks still comes from sustainability and emerging technologies. Just to meet up the 15 marks allocated to this. So this is it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what do we need to do to be able to handle ourselves? Now, this part is the most crucial part. If you really want to make this paper this time round, what we need to do, this is the advice. You see, the exam is a 3-hour paper plus a 15 minutes for you to read the questions. Now, we need to practice this thing of answering questions. If you have 5 questions and you have 3 hours to answer 5 questions, basically, then it means that you have 36 minutes to answer each 20-mark question. That is it. You have 36 minutes to answer each 20-mark question. But our rehearsal should be that we should be applying 30 minutes to each question, so that the 6 minutes will be the one that we will use to go over. So therefore, our class time, we have 2 days for meeting. We have Fridays, which is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Then we have Saturdays, which will be 5 a.m. I used to even do this thing at 4:30, 5 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. These are our class time. But for March 2025 sitting, each March 2025 sitting, because of the nature of Christmas, we and with the holidays, we will be having most class at dawn. At dawn. Yes. So you see, so that immediately after the dawn, the holiday dawn, you can now go and enjoy the rest of the holidays as an additive to these days. So we're giving the Christmas holiday, and all those communications will be made, so that you do, because the likelihood of you missing some of these evening classes is there because it's Christmas. So we'll be utilizing dawns for some of the Christmas holidays, so that we can cover March, and those times will be communicated. Of course, you will receive your timetable very soon. I mean, the specific, what we will be doing on each specific day before Friday when we start the class. All right, so you have that. Now, that is from me, the tutor. From you yourself, there is a commitment you need to do. And this is the interesting part, because this is where it is tough. Very, very tough, because like myself, most of us, we are in the corporate world, and we are also doing this ICA. So it makes it very, very difficult. But it is still possible because you yourself, you need 6 hours of personal private study. Personal private study. 6 hours. Not that it is including the class time. No, yourself, a week. So where will it be? Because you see, the truth is that somebody's 6 hours can just stem from Saturday and Sunday. 6 hours, the person is done. Someone's 6 hours will also be like, let me do 1 hour every day. On the surface of it, it is very possible. Very, very possible. The danger is when you don't practice this from the onset and you wait for like 3 weeks to the exam. That is where the problem comes in. But let's be frank. Let's try and be frank. Is it not possible that we can open our books 1 hour each day within the whole 24 hours? Though we are still busy, is it not possible? Is it something like, if you look at it, is it possible or it's not possible? Ben,
Yes.
is it possible that 1 hour every day? Because if you do the 1 hour every day, even for 7 days, you are doing like 7 hours. But I'm saying 6 hours. On the face of it, yeah. And this is me being biased to only corporate reporting. Well, of course, for some of you, you may have to do other courses. But the truth is that the other courses, you don't need the 6 hours. I teach audit. And I can tell you that for my students, I can tell you that you can do 2 hours every week. You can still pass. Yeah. But for corporate reporting, you need 6 hours every week. Yeah. Personal. And please, so I need you to do this. Each student is going to buy. See, I'm going to call on your commitment. It's very, very important. I'm going to call on your commitment. And so because of that, I'm tempted to reduce the class size to just 25 people. I might not register more than 25 people. No. I just need 25 committed people. Yes, on corporate reporting. Yeah. Because the truth is that everybody is supposed to buy 2 exercise books. Of course, for some of us who are in the office, we are not used to these exercise books. So we take A4 sheet and we staple them together as our learning material. So you need that. You need that. But you have to, the A4 sheet that you are taking or the exercise book that you are doing, you have to separate them for me. One should be specifically for assignment for me, which when you finish, you will scan it and send to me. And please, I will give you feedback on that. And every week you will be doing it. So it means that if you decide not to be doing it, then you have already seen ahead how it will be. Because the exercises that I'm going to give you will cause you to implement your 6 hours study. Yeah, I'm not going to leave you like that, like you have paid money. No, and it's about your payment of money in no way. Because you see, sometimes if we are running a tuition and the results skew to the other way, it affects the tuition center as well. But if we do all these things, then it's still skewed. Then it means we have a cost to also say something. So this is how it is going to be. That's why I will limit the number to this, because like you, like me, we are all in the corporate setting. I do University of Ghana and 3 other companies. So it's very tedious, but I'm still going to limit, take a day most of the time. On my Fridays, I take it out. So that is the time I will look at your works for you. All right. So that is how it is going to be. That is how it is going to be. Now, I also need you to go to the market and buy something. That thing is called a formica board. Have you seen that thing before? A formica board.
Yes.
You have an idea what that thing is? The formica board, like it's a white flatted. I think I should have one here because I use it myself. Yes, I use it myself for solving most of the questions. So let me see if I have it here. I can show it to you how it looks like, how the formica board looks like. Good. I have seen one here. So so this is how it looks like. When you go to the market, you should be able to get one. This is how it looks like. It's a very small something. So this is it. So go to the market, get a formica board. Just this is how it is. And when you buy it, they'll give you, some of them give you pencil. You see, even behind there is this graph sheet there.
With accounting.
Yes. So if you do JHS, if you do pre-technical skills, we used to use the bigger one of this with the T-square drawing board.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so they decided to
Yes.
do this one for us. And so, like, yes, you use this one. So get this, get this. The reason why you need to get this is that it helps you to solve more questions. You see, the thing is that we use pencil on this. And so when you are solving a question and you made a mistake, you can just quickly slot in your error. You see, the thing is that because if you are solving the question in your exercise book and you make a mistake, it is annoying to go back and cancel and all those things. It demotivates. So you need to get this thing. Just use your pencils and you will be fine. All right. So you will need that. So please, 6 hours a week. And ladies and gentlemen, the truth is that, let me tell you the hard truth. If you miss out on these 6 hours a week, your chances of passing the paper becomes very slim. That's how it works. Very slim. These 6 hours is a minimum hour. It's not the maximum hour, it's the minimum hours. So if you don't do the minimum, you realize that your chances are getting thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. So ICA is going to, these exams, especially the corporate reporting, it takes a lot on you. It takes a lot on you. Okay, so but it is possible. It's very possible that you can actually do it one hour a day. All right, you can do it. Or decide to do all the 6 hours. Saturday, you corner yourself somewhere, 3 hours. Sunday, you corner yourself somewhere, 3 hours. That's the minimum. So you can go beyond that. You can go beyond that. All right. Now, the last two things I would say, then probably if you have any question you can ask, is that um I have the CR book, corporate reporting book, but it's quite expensive, which is 350 Ghana cedis. If you are in this class, I think most have already ordered and have delivered. If you haven't seen yours, very soon you will get your delivery. But it is good you all get it so that we move, because it has plenty questions. That's the essence of the book, plenty questions. But I'll give you questions. The assignment that I'll be giving you will not be in that book, just so that you can copy the answers for me. No, no, no. After, it's possible that within these hours, if we start the standard, we might be doing 5 hours a week, 5 standards a week. Very possible. So out of these 5 standards a week, I'll give you three of them, three standard assignments, which you will do and you will use the understanding. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the exam approach, like I've already said, is use the 15 minutes to read through the question. Now, that 15 minutes, the purpose for corporate reporting, the purpose is to arrange the order of your answering. So if you read through 15 minutes, oh, let me do the consult first. Oh, let me do the ratio first. Let me do this one first. That is the main concept. So if I'm doing this one first, okay, let me look at the issues in there, the tricks in there. Will I be able to handle it? That's what you use the 15 minutes for. All right, that is what you need the 15 minutes for. Then we are going to practice how to use 30 minutes to solve a 20 marker question. 30 minutes. You see, the good news for you is that now, the thing is that now I am working Legon City Campus. Those of you know the City Campus. Over there, I work with Redeemer. Those of you who know Dr. Redeemer is the examiner for PSA, the public sector accounting paper. He's the chief examiner for public sector accounting. And I work with him teaching the level 200s at City Campus. So sometimes I engage him in the questions, especially the corporate reporting. And he says exactly what I've been telling my students. You see, what you need is the professionalism of your work. You don't really need to deal with the calculative part of the. So, like, for example, the standard, like the IFRS 16 that came with IAS 37, you can decide not to really solve the question as it is, because if you know, you will do it. But if you don't know, what is your general understanding about IFRS 16? What is your general understanding about IAS 37? So you write those things. According to IAS 16, initial measurement should be done this way. Subsequently, it should be done this way. And since there is IAS 37, a change in the liability, you have to do this way. So you write that story. It is English. There is nothing calculation in what I've said. Write that story. Then try and see if you can apply it to the question. If you can't, leave your story. You will still get some marks. You will ultimately get half of the marks. But you see, what happens to students is that one is time management. Because the time management comes from confidence. Confidence herein is coming from your knowledge, the standard that you learned. If you didn't learn it, you will not have that confidence. So when we start learning the thing together and we give the assignment, please and please don't exempt yourself out of the journey. Don't. That is my commitment to this class, this UIPD class. That is my commitment. Yeah. So please, when we give the assignment, because the assignment is going to force you to produce what you have learned. And so please write it. And the ultimate killer of this your journey is your legitimate excuses. I'm not saying illegitimate excuses. So it's your legitimate excuses. That is where it will come from. Yeah. Because sometimes we are tired. Me, myself, I can show you, frankly speaking, sincerely speaking, yesterday, when I came back from work, you see, I am still wearing the shirt I went to work with, telling you that I slept in the shirt. That is it. That is how the life is killing us. But I still have to do this. Yes, it could have been easy. This is just a way to pass corporate reporting. So it could have been easy for me to say that, oh, I will do this thing on the first day of our class. But here am I. So sometimes you have to just kill yourself in the action. And at the end of the day, when you pass the paper and you send me, say, I passed this paper, that is where the joy will come from. And I'm willing to enjoy myself in that situation. So please, sometimes I know it is tiring, but this time, let's just deal with the time concept and let's travel the journey together. Because I believe that if we travel it together, we can make it rather than waiting till the exams time. It's possible we will make it. So that is it. At this point, if there is any question you want to ask me, I'm willing to produce the answers. All right. Any question? Yeah, please, any question at this point? Any question? Do you realize the form that you filled? There was a declaration or an undertaking as part of it that there will be mock on each month. And if you fail those mock twice, I have the prerogative to take you off the platform. Did you read that?
Yes, I did.
Yes. I
Okay.
didn't say anything like that. I just joined the
Okay. So I'm going to enforce those things. See, yes, some of the things you have to do, you have to be consistent and I mean firm on those things. Yes, and I will do it. Just like I said that the payment of the money is your commitment. It's a pinch. Like sometimes it has to pinch you so that you force yourself into that situation. So we will be doing the mock, and it is going to be on the Saturday morning session. And I may ask you to even on your video for us to see what you are doing. You see, all these things you say, but this guy, we are not kids, we are not this, we are not this. Yes, you can choose that part, but at the end of the day, the onus is still on you. And that is what some tuition centers are doing. How you will learn your thing doesn't concern them. Because of course, when they will get the money anyway. But I have a different feeling for this. I feel like sometimes this thing is a family. Yeah, so we should, and in family, if somebody is doing something, sometimes you have to pinch the person. Yes, that's how I see it. That's how I see it. So that's my paradigm for these things. All right. So please, because if you pass those two mocks, three to be three. If you pass those three mocks prior to your paper, then it means that you are ready. Because like me saying, answering a 20-mark question in 30 minutes, exactly that is what is going to happen. And it will push you and you will learn through it. All right. Okay. So basically, that is that. So this is the end of this small, let's call it matriculation. We will start our class next week, Friday, 6 p.m. on the dot. So get yourselves ready. All right. Any question? In the absence of any question, it's exactly 9 o'clock. And
Sir, do I hear you say next week Friday?
yes, as per your timetable,
Sir.
you have corporate reporting on Friday.
Okay. And then the audit.
Oh, audit, this is CR class. Audit is on Thursdays. This one is specifically CR class.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. So thank you very much for trusting us to be with
Sir,
you in
one
the journey of
thing,
class.
sir, just to find out this. Sir,
I'm listening.
will there always be recordings for us?
Of course. Even you
Okay.
joining the class, I think you have seen some of the recordings already. I posted a Telegram
Yes.
link there. I don't know if you joined. So the November
Yes.
2024 sessions, they are there already. So you can even start. So yes, I posted. All of you are supposed to watch the conceptual framework video. I'll post the YouTube part. And please, those of you, I have a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel name is Ansah Thomas. So kindly go there. Go to the YouTube channel, visit Ansah Thomas. You can check the playlist for corporate reporting or SBR and start watching the videos. Some of the videos too are on the Telegram. Join the Telegram link, and please, before we meet on Friday, we'll have that. Please, and we will have to check what I'm witnessing now. Joining a class and letting us hear what you are doing outside. That one, I really don't like it. Because to everything there is a purpose. It is said where purpose is ignored, abuse is inevitable. I always ask myself, why join this class if you are not ready for it? I mean, why? Why will you do that? So I that part I really don't understand. Because if you not pay attention, then why join? Then do what you were doing. Then probably when the class is done and the video is there, you take your time and you watch the video. So I would prefer that than sometimes you'll be having class, some people will unmute. When you have muted them, they will unmute and they will be letting you hear the noises that are coming into the class. That thing, I think, is not really a good thing at all, especially at our level. Yeah. So you kindly check those things for me. All right. As for the videos, they will always be available. Okay. So in the absence of any other question, I think this is where we can drop the class. I will.
Yeah.
It's possible to even post this thing to even go on the YouTube channel as well. Yes, Mujib. Any other question?
It's just an appreciation I want to show. Thank you so much for the time you spent with us.
All right. You are always welcome. All right. I will share this video on both platforms, my YouTube platform and even on the Telegram. Thank you. Have a great
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.